Did we get a signal from Mark?
We did.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so wonderful to see many of you in person. It is so wonderful to have those who are live streaming with us this evening online and who are with us as well. If you want to go online to our temple website, you can find a copy of the flip book for our service, Mishkan Tefillah. And of course, it is wonderful for us to be together. And as we come back into our sanctuary, we always are reminded of that and reminded from the words of the Psalms, that beautiful melody of Hine Matov. So whether it be, even if it's socially distant, I invite you guys to stand up, at least give each other a wave, say hi to one another, greet one another. And then we will sing Hine Matov together.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. You're allowed to stand.
Stand. Greet everybody.
Greet
Say
everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay, now I'm getting more. Hine matovu manayim, shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet kulam gam yachad.
Please be seated. We continue with praises to God with Lechuna Ranana, page 130.
Let us sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Try it with us. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, naria litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda, bizmirot naria lo, bizmirot naria lo. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
This Shabbat, we are also going to be celebrating the bar mitzvah of Nate Singer, and it is my pleasure to invite up his mom, Maya, to join us on the bima as we welcome Shabbat with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, pages 120 and 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness remind us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Just pick this up. Yeah, there you go.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של Shabbat.
On this Shabbat, like all Shabbats, we take the time to pray for peace, and we're greeted by those Shabbat angels of peace. But on this Shabbat in particular, we We continue to pray for peace for those individuals who are in Ukraine at this time. And I want to share with you a poem written by Rabbi Cy Stanway. God and God of all people, if words could stop war, we would speak them endlessly. And if words could heal wounds, we would sing them throughout the day. If hate could be forever extinguished with the waters of love and respect, we would gladly create a tsunami. But words can only remind us of who we are and what we can be. We are not war, we make war. We are not peace, we make peace. We are not hate, we hate. We are not love, we love. We are at the mercy of those who seek power to dominate and possess. And yet, split screen, we see bravery, determination, unity, strength, and fortitude. This is the tsunami of what will unify and bring peace. For peace does not come through a gun, only silence. The silence of the dispossessed, the oppressed, and the dead. We seek a greater peace that silence gives, a peace spoken by the prophets, and a peace that we know can grow in the hands of everyone. On this Shabbat, help us to grow our hearts, to see the love that can be, the peace that can be, and make us your arms and minds. Our words do not move you to do for us, but we speak them to you so that we can listen. And may we be greeted by those angels, giving us comfort on the way. We continue with words of Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
continue on the next page.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. ועל מה דברה חירותי וימליך מהותי, בחייכון ובימיכון, ובחיי דכו בית ישראל. בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. ללמין כה ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעמה, ואמרו אמן.
Please rise. Please be seated. We continue at the very bottom of 151. Torah is what God has revealed to us and what we discern of God. Ideas and ideals, laws and mitzvot, our religious heritage. It unfolds our memories of Abraham and Sarah, of Moses and Miriam and the prophets. It is legislation and explanation, allowing questions that challenge, answers that inspire, all a quest for meaning. It is our way of life, a path for our souls, and the design for a better world. As we rise for the Shema on the next page, I invite up Nate Singer to lead us in that prayer.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Bottom of page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory.
May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש. תהילות ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We continue on page 160. Ashkivenu Ashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. Ve'amitenu shomrenu lechaim, uleshalom, uleshalom. Ashkivenu, Ashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Ashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. Ushmot tzedkenu, uvoenu, lechaim ushalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Ashkivenu, Ashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Ashkivenu, Ashkivenu, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. We continue with our song for Shabbat V'Shamru, found on the next page. V'Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם. ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש.
We connect ourselves to generations past and continue the age-old conversation with God. We rise for the Amidah, beginning on page 164.
Yalla, la, 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 Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Vehanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, תומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
Please be seated. Page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day, and may all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day, and may all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. And there we can find you. And there we find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, so that all of Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, shotcha levavcha b'yirah na'avod. We continue with one of our many prayers of peace, Shalom Rav, 178.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon,
pause for silent meditation and reflection.
We're continuing on page 371. Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
As a congregation, we turn our thoughts to those loved ones in need of healing, of mind, of body, of spirit. May our voices be heard and give them a sense of comfort and strength. As a congregation, we think of Richard Kennemer, Jack Long, Tamar Noten, Dawn Gringorton, Gary Bronstein, Newt Westergren, Bruce Roberts, June Chapman, Ron Wolk, Mira Engel, Wendy Lazar, Gail Frankel, Janet Kanan, our preschool director, Barbara Theranos, our bookkeeper, Pat Nervo, mother of Aviva Paul, Richard Ravitch, former member of Shir Hadash, Lauren Janovich, cousin of Joyce Bodick, Marianne Riley, mother of Rosemary Bryan, Per Nystrom, son of Laura Sternberg, and Adina Neer, mother of Itzik Neer and Mika Karakin. At this time, if there are names of those loved ones dear to you that you would like to call to mind in this prayer for healing, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei Takol, blessed are you, Adonai, who brings forth healing to all who are ill.
Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We turn back to page 180. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimrama, uya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
I've shared with our congregation before that one of the most impactful experiences that I had during rabbinical school took place in the former Soviet Union. In 2008, I was tapped to travel to Belarus to lead Pesach Seders for the community. And it was there that I watched a community still struggling with the legacies of communism and World War II. And although it had been almost 2 decades since that fall of the Iron Curtain, these Reformed communities were relearning what it meant to foster vibrant Jewish life. They were sending their first leaders to rabbinical school, sending their teens to an American Jewish summer camp, and they were raising funds to continue to survive in their communities. And during my time in Belarus, I felt a connection to the land itself in ways that I could have never imagined. Because this was the land that my ancestors came from, the land in which they faced persecution, living each day in fear. I vividly recall a conversation that I had with one of the elders of the Mitz community in which she spoke about growing up in the small town of Lechovichi. And as she said those words, goosebumps were felt down my own spine, because Lechovichi was the Lechovichi of the Schwartz family. Now, my story about my ancestors coming from the former Pale of Settlement is not unique. And my stories about my time in Belarus are not unique either. See, upon the news that Ukraine was under attack, other colleagues who've also participated in the former Soviet Union Pesach project began to share their experiences as well. Now, Ukraine is the country where you will find the towns and the villages that were packed with our ancestors. We know it was the heart of the Pale of Settlement. The Pale Settlement is that zone created by the Russian Tsar to corral the Jews into one geographic area. We know that many of those Jews were able to flee to America and flee to other countries after the pogroms became unbearable. And this includes many of our grandparents and great-grandparents as well. Ukraine was also the center of Jewish culture for 1,000 years. Now, it might not be holy in that biblical sense of the word Kodesh. It might be just as holy as Brooklyn and Vilna and other places of vital importance. Today, the Ukrainian town of Uman is so holy that Bratslav Jews go to there, thousands of them go to there, every Rosh Hashanah to pay homage at the grave of their Rebbe. It's for these reasons, and many more, that while it affects everyone of every faith and every racial background, it's something that hits home with our community. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory, the former chief rabbi of Britain, made a very interesting point in his commentary that we can apply to Ukraine. Now, we've recently read about how the people ganged up on Aaron and bullied him into making the golden calf. And there, the Torah uses the verb vayikahel to mean as gang up on. Now, the yikahel is the passive form of the root kahal, meaning congregation or community. Now, Rabbi Sacks goes on to say that in our portion this week, the Torah uses a similar word that refers to Moses gathering the community together. And these words are so similar that the tension between the idea of ganging up or crowding one another or to convoke or to assemble as a group of people is very clear. I think that the point Rabbi Sacks is making is that the Torah presents us with a choice. We can choose to live in the mode of being a bully or a tyrant. We can choose to live in the mode of ganging up on, or we can choose to live in the mode of being a community, being a builder, being a healer, much like Moses. Now, in order for Moses to do this, he had to stand up to idolaters who were in the midst and root them out. Moses taught us that being a community builder doesn't mean that you should be a pacifist. As one of my colleagues wrote, quote, "The people of Ukraine deserve to live in peace, not to worry about the physical safety of their parents and their grandparents and children. They deserve freedom in their beautiful and fascinating cities, the intensely green countryside, the place that my ancestors called home, the place they wish they never had to leave. It's under fire and it's under siege. They've known the devastating effects of dictatorships and violent power before. This is not some country across the sea. These people aren't faceless. They are us." End quote. These people aren't faceless. They are us. Their story is our story. The World Union of Progressive Judaism launched a campaign yesterday to support those in need as the result of the crisis. We know that charitable organizations like the Red Cross, Voices of Children, UNICEF, as well as Hadash and others are rallying together to provide relief as well. Because as it says in Isaiah, God shall judge between the nations and shall arbitrate for many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against any nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. May that vision of the prophet ever be so. Shabbat shalom.
We're going to continue with those words that Rabbi Schwartz just spoke, found in the back of our prayer book on page 645. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherem, lo yumadu od milchama. We're continuing with the Elenu, found on page 587. We rise as the ark is opened. לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. You may be seated as we continue on page 591.
The meditation before Kaddish can be found on page 592, and the Kaddish can be found on page 598. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people that I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. The congregation offers its condolences to Reuben and David Levy, Cantor, Devor Felder Levy, as well as their grandchildren, on the death of their wife and their mother and mother-in-law and our member, Mimi Levy, and to Marcia Shane on the death of her sister, Judy Friedman. We also remember those loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Colette Kaplowitz, Erwin Fishman, Larry Shore, David M. Stein, Elaine Shortek, Irving Krasnopoler, David Corman, Daniel Scheinhaus, J. Guadalupe Chavez, Donna Nemhauser Bates, Dr. David K. Burke, Elizabeth Ludwig, Bernard Kennis, Charles Stone, Rima Zaratsky, Leonard Popowitz, Mark Elliott, Esther Young-Wedner, Marjorie Hart, Roseanne Lewitt, Morton J. Friedberg, Estelle Levine, Larry Lisenby, Mark Franklin, Rachel Belaya, and Elliot Wesser. We also add those names of those loved ones who passed away at this season in years past. Marty Trepper, Renee Bergman, Owen Chamberlain, Gregory Lee, Dinah Levy, Gary Friedman, Francis Cohen, Marvin Heller, Frederick Wilkinson. If you would like to add the name of someone who passed away recently or whose yahrzeit falls at this time of year, I invite you to rise and do so at this time. All those who we have named aloud and within our hearts, may their memories be for a blessing. Supporting those who mourn and in the memory of the martyrs of our people, we rise together as Kaddish is recited. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu, le'ala min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim, Elenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'asei shalom, Elenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of strength send strength to those who mourn, and may the source of peace and peace to those who are bereaved. And we say, amen. Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite up Mia Newton to share with us some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Upcoming, masking required for all indoor, in-person services and activities. Kulanu Learning and Kulanu Hebrew Sunday are not in session this week. Kulanu Hebrew Tuesday, Jet, and Confirmation are in session this week. Tomorrow, Saturday, February 26th, we have Torah study on Zoom at 9 a.m. with Rabbi Schwartz, and Shir Shabbat service on Zoom at 10:30 with lay leader Linda Allen and lay cantor Mark Allen. And tomorrow morning, the bar mitzvah of Nate Singer in the sanctuary and live stream at 10:30 with Rabbi Schwartz and cantor Felder Levy. On Sunday, February 27th, we have a community walk at Almaden Lake Regional Park at 10 a.m. Missing Shir Hadash friends, join us for a community walk. We'll meet at the bocce ball courts and schmooze, walk together, drink coffee, and enjoy each other's company. Please register online. Preview. Sunday, March 6th, book group. Walking Lions by Ayelet Gunder Goshen on Zoom at 10:45 a.m. After one night's deadly mistake, a man will go to any lengths to save his family and reputation. Waking Lions is a gripping, suspenseful, and morally devastating drama of guilt and survival, shame and desire, from a remarkable young author on the rise. Register online to join the discussion. Mitzvah Day at Good Karma Bikes, which is at 460 Lincoln Avenue in San Jose at noon. Please join us for our first Mitzvah Day event of the year as we clean and refurbish bikes for the community. Age restriction, 13 and older with parents. Masking required. Please register online. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Immediately following the service, we're going to have Kiddush and Motzi on the bima, and we'll invite up Oren to help us with Kiddush, Nate's dad. And we are going to be concluding services this evening with words of Shir Shalom on page 658. Please rise. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lauren, if you want to come on down.
Pull it up for him.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון התחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תפילה למקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
לחיים.
Chaim.
Hey, you can drink.
We join together in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz avon. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Couldn't get to the words fast enough.